Of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Good morning, Nigeria. It's Friday, the 29th of August, 2025, and you're tuned in to Daybreak Live Extra on Dominion Television. I am Samson Balogun.
And I'm Loayemi Adelakun.
And I am Pat Aito. Together, we got your Friday energy right here, sharp, engaging, and loaded with the big stories shaping you this morning.
And we'll begin with one that's already sharing heated conversations nationwide. The Nigerian Immigration Service has officially hiked passport fees, 100,000 naira for 32-page booklet and 200,000 naira for this 64-page booklet.
For many Nigerians, this is not just about a passport. It's about access, mobility, and the fairness of government policy. Is this reform, or is it another barrier that widens inequality?
Well, it's a tough pill, and trust us, we will be breaking it down from every angle. But first, we will bring you Daybreak News, a quick but thorough dive into the biggest political, economic, and social headlines making waves around Nigeria and beyond.
Then I'll step in with the newspaper headlines and analysis. You know how we do it. Cutting through the link, asking the right questions, and embarking the stories that matter for governance, accountability, and the lives of everyday Nigerians.
And today's big story, we switch gears to the power of creativity and purpose, the power of storytelling, the journey of Kayode Babalola in gospel filmmaking. Joining us is none other than Kayode Babalola himself, K-Babs, a actor, gospel filmmaker, and one of the bold voices using film not just for entertainment, but as a tool for ministry and transformation.
And of course, from politics to passports, from storytelling to society, we will keep you plugged in till the very end.
And of course, we wrap things up with Trend Watch, scanning the buzzing issues across the country and online.
And that's right. It's Friday. It's Daybreak Live Extra. And we are powering your morning with energy, intelligence, and fearless conversations. Don't move. And of course, don't move with muzzle. We are just getting started on this time. Good morning.
That's quite funny.
Good to have you in the studio once
Well,
again.
it's
Friday.
It's Friday, and it's funny when we are saying, don't move your voice.
Just sit back, relax. There's a lot to unpack on this show.
But can I move?
Well, you can move a little, but
Okay,
then...
let's move a bit, maybe to his side, because you always, you are Balogun.
You know, you are on set. You should, just keep your position. Maybe later you can move, but right now, just
No, she will definitely move soon.
Well, you have no choice. Very soon you will have to move.
She will
All
move.
right, we'll move one after the other.
Interestingly, the Nigerian
What is interesting
Come
then?
in, just really.
Because you just say interestingly, I want to give you...
The Nigerian Immigration Service
Okay.
yesterday made an announcement out of the blue. International passports fees have been hiked. 100,000, 200,000 naira. Even at 50,000, some Nigerians were really, really angry that it's becoming too much of of a stress for them to get a passport until Olubunmi Tunji Ojo came on board and said, look, we want to simplify how you can get your international passport. But the most painful thing is the fact that in Sena climes, your what we call the minimum wage here, which other call the living wage, is by no means close, in any way close to how much you pay for an international passport. I mean, it doesn't make sense to them. But in Nigeria, to get an international passport is more expensive than your minimum wage in the country. I mean, that's 30% increase on what we currently have. But if you look at the current situation now, I'm saying this as a Nigerian today. I'm not saying this as a host. I think I'm just glad that, the Nigerian government do not have a say on how much it costs to get a visa in the country. Because if they do, Nigerians will not be able to get visas out of this country. There's no way you can get out of this country. Because how could, the government come at this time when the economy is this bad and say, is the Ministry of Interior meant to generate income or to render service to the people of Nigeria? That's one thing. Because 100,000 for a passport, 34 pages booklet, I mean, that's too much.
It's too much.
It's too much. And you begin to ask yourself questions. If they can actually do more and have a say in how much the American embassy gets for, visa fee, if they have a say on how much the British embassy gets for visa fee, or every other country across the globe, I think they would support them to increase, how much Nigerians will pay for visa. I mean, that's too much. That's just more or less like, look, whatever it is that makes you happy as a Nigerian. I think as Nigerians now, what makes them happy is to japa out of the country because they feel like they are helpless in the country. And then to make japa a little bit more difficult, we are going to hike the price of passports. I mean, I think that is uncalled for.
Okay, I think on the contrary, even if they increase the price to 200, some people see japa.
They will still do it.
But then a lot of people will not have the opportunity.
Okay, take for
living.
example,
Yes.
there are some people who don't even have interest in leaving the country, right? All they want to do is they want an international passport as a means of identification because most times when you get to the bank or some other places, there are three things they will ask you for. Do you have an international passport? Do you have NIN, certificates, that slip? Of course, do you have a driver's license? These are things they ask for.
Cards.
So people settle for, for international passport because they know that that is one of... Some Nigerians do not have a certificate of being a citizen of the country. Do you know you have to get, if you want to, you can get a certificate that I'm a Nigerian citizen. Some don't have. But what they rely on that makes them a Nigerian as a whole is the fact that they have an international passport. And most of them have been deprived of this opportunity as we speak.
And it's very sad, honestly, because I think Mr. Olubunmi Tunji Ojo speaking yesterday during an event, and he was saying that a lady from Uganda was caught with a Nigerian passport, and she said she paid $1,000 to get it. And then he said, part of what they are trying to do is to make sure that, you don't have access to Nigerian passport if you're not in Nigeria. And speaking of the fee, you can imagine a situation whereby the minimum wage is 70,000 naira, and it will not get you a Nigerian passport.
You have to work for 2 months without spending a dime.
And I don't understand why the increase is so much. Why should it be 100%? Last year, it was 35,000 naira, it moved to 50,000 naira. We are seeing 50,000 and 100,000 naira. It's a lot. Yes, in this sector, we are seeing a lot of changes. If you apply for a passport, it won't take you up to 6 months or maybe 10 years to collect it unlike before. And it was part of what he said that they are working on creating even more centers, printing more than what people actually apply apply for, so that when you finally apply, it won't take them more time to get it.
you.
He even said he promised us 1 week. Yes, he's doing a lot of work, great works in that sector, but 50,000 naira increase, I think is too much. And
Well, you're asking a question that you don't know why, but I think they said the Nigerian government said the increase in price is necessary to protect the quality and integrity of Nigerian passports. So I'm asking, what is the integrity there? What is the quality? Is there any difference from the way we used to do it? I think the very first time I would do my own Nigerian passport, or my passport, was when it was 15,000 plus. Even at that 15,000 plus, it was express, because as of that time it was 8,500. So I was asked, like, okay, do you want to get it now? I said yes, and I paid 15,000. Now from 15,000 to 100,000 naira, and you begin to question, what do you want to use it for? Is it for you? Is it for you to tame
right now?
The influx of people traveling abroad? You should know Nigeria. If Nigerians can do this, like they want to Japa and they follow the Mediterranean Sea, so what are you now saying? You want to tame, you want to protect the integrity and the quality of the Nigerian passports. What quality are you giving us before?
And then he also mentioned, Mr. Tuji Joseph, that, he's more passionate about this matter, because he said there was a time that he wanted to get passport for his daughter, and then he had to pay hundreds of thousands to get it. And of course, he's trying to, remove some persons from that sector, that even some PCOs don't like what he's doing, but he's committed to do what he wants to do. So I just think it's too much, regardless of whether they are trying to secure, to take out some persons who are actually, not doing well in that sector, or maybe fight corruption. I think it's too much, because, apart from this 100,000, I bet it with you that some Nigerians will still pay more.
Who pay more?
To get out their passport. Because
if you need something as urgent as very urgent, you pay. You pay 200. You pay 200,000 or more.
So really, I think they should look. I don't think.
No, this man started on a good note by saying, okay, you can access you want to do your Nigerian passport. Yes, you can do that online. But this very one is a sad one.
You see,
you started on a good note, but don't end it in a bad note.
The truth of the matter is, when you look at Nigeria as a country, I think I said something earlier that I pity Nigerians at this time, and I feel like this is not, the first thing that will be price that will be increased. So many other things Nigerians will have to pay for a lot of things this time, and they are going to pay extraordinarily for it, because I see that there is a dragnet out there, and the government is looking at every avenue possible to rake in income, and that hasn't even stopped us from actually. Fuel subsidy was removed, and that has not stopped a country like Nigeria from borrowing. We kept borrowing, and we have kept borrowing. So the truth is, or what I feel right now is, when will Nigerians enjoy Nigeria? That's the first question, because 50,000 for a booklet in the first place was expensive. How much more of 100,000 and 200,000 naira? I just feel like this is a policy that was not discussed. I want to believe, that's what I want to believe, that this is a policy that was not discussed with the president. Because if they actually discussed this with the president actually knows exactly what Nigerians are feeling at this time and how they feel as humans. Even in Nigeria.
I don't think the president is not aware of this. Honestly,
I said that's what I want to believe.
Okay.
That maybe the president is still going to look into this and say, oh no, that's too
okay. The way he looked into the fuel subsidy. The way he looked into fuel subsidy.
Looking at Nigeria as a country,
removing the fuel subsidy.
This will stand. Honestly, let's just pray that
Nigerians get
by
along with everything and
2026
anything.
they will not increase it from 100,000 to 200,000.
We are going to 1
when
million.
it comes to Nigerians, we know how to adapt to issues like this. Honestly,
it will get 1 million.
I won't say.
That's the
well,
point.
this time,
but the bitter thing is Nigerians know how to get along with everything and anything. They will make noise for one day.
Okay,
and then
tell
after
me,
that,
what can Nigerians do in this matter? If you protest, it will say stand.
The truth of the matter is, you see, this is a conversation for another day.
We need to go.
All right, so thank you for being a part of the show so far. It has been a wonderful session. And of course, thank you for joining us. Today, the Friday edition. Yes, we say thank God, it's Friday. All right, link up with us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast. And on X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. You can also watch us live on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to that channel. Drop your comments. We are definitely going to take them on this show. It is at Dominion Broadcast. Then link up with us too on our website, www.dominion.org.ng. Let's go on a quick break. And when we return, Daybreak Live Extra continues. Of course, we're going to take weather reports. We'll be back.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
All right, welcome back from that short break. The show is still Daybreak Live Extra on Dominion Television. Now we take weather reports. We start with the Federal Capital Territory this morning, and of course the weather currently feels like 22 degrees Celsius. This morning, scattered thunderstorms with precipitation of 47% right there in Abuja. Later this morning too, it will be around 23 degrees Celsius. In the afternoon, same scattered thunderstorms at 24 degrees Celsius. And by evening, it will drop to 22 degrees Celsius with scattered thunderstorms. And overnight, there will be thunderstorms in Abuja at 22 degrees Celsius.
All right, let's cross over to Port Harcourt Rivers. The weather this morning feels like 24 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, 16%. And in the afternoon, around 25 degrees Celsius, showers around 52%. Evening, around 21 degrees Celsius, cloudy, 10%. And of course, overnight, 21 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, around 14%. That's what we have this morning for Port Harcourt Rivers.
And moving on swiftly, we'll head straight to Kano. Kano this morning 27 degrees Celsius, and it will be mostly cloudy of the velocity of 4%, and in the afternoon it will be of 29 degrees Celsius with scattered thunderstorms and of velocity 49%. And in the evening to be 24 degrees Celsius, and that's mostly cloudy of 24%. And overnight it will be 23 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy as well, and of 12%.
Of course, heading straight to Ilori, Kwara State capital. This morning, as it currently feels like 23 degrees Celsius right there, the weather is currently fair. And later in the morning, it will rise to 25 degrees Celsius. It will be cloudy right there in Ilori this morning. And later in the afternoon, the weather is expected to rise to 28 degrees Celsius, and showers is expected right there in Ilori. And later in the evening, it will be mostly cloudy at 24 degrees Celsius. There will be scattered thunderstorms overnight in Ilori, Kwara State capital, overnight at 23 degrees Celsius.
Well, let's cross over to Kaduna this morning. Weather this morning feels like 24 degrees Celsius with few showers around 31%. In the afternoon, 26 degrees Celsius, scattered thunderstorms around 37%. And of course, evening, 22 degrees Celsius, few showers around 33%. Overnight, 22 degrees Celsius, cloudy, around 19%. That's what we have for Kaduna this morning.
And Osun State weather report reads, in the morning, it will be 24 degrees Celsius with few showers expected around 15%. And in the afternoon, 27 degrees Celsius with scattered thunderstorms of precipitation of 59%. In the evening to be 23 degrees Celsius and cloudy 14%. And overnight 22 degrees Celsius. Few showers expected and of velocity of 32 degrees.
All right, in Abeokuta, the capital of Ogun State, this morning, weather is expected to be around 23 degrees Celsius. It will be cloudy right there in Abeokuta, and later in the afternoon it will rise to 28 degrees Celsius, with light rain expected by 61% in Abeokuta later in the afternoon, and by evening it will be cloudy at 24 degrees Celsius, same as overnight, 24 degrees Celsius with showers expected in Abeokuta overnight.
All right, let's cross over to Lagos this morning. Weather feels like 26 degrees Celsius, cloudy around 14%. In the afternoon, 27 degrees Celsius, cloudy around 8%. And of course, evening, 25 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 8% as well. Overnight, 25 degrees Celsius, showers around 45%. That's what we have for Lagos this morning.
And Ekiti State is coming with this one this morning. It's going to be cloudy and of course 23 degrees Celsius, and that's a 14%, and it's going to be cloudy this morning. And in the afternoon, 25 degrees Celsius with thunderstorms expected of precipitation of 69%. In the evening, 22 degrees Celsius, and it will be cloudy, and that's with a velocity of 24%. And overnight, 21 degrees Celsius, and of course scattered thunderstorms is expected, and that's of 57%.
And in the ancient metropolitan city of hospitality, Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State, this morning, weather currently feels like 23 degrees Celsius. Later in the morning, it will be cloudy at 25 degrees Celsius. And in the afternoon, there will be rain in Ibadan at 27 degrees Celsius. And as predicted, later in the evening, it will be 24 degrees Celsius. It will be cloudy right here in Ibadan. And there will be showers overnight at 23 degrees Celsius later overnight. And if you are in Ibadan today, keep your umbrella handy, as there might be rain all through the day. So keep it handy. That will be all on the weather report this morning. We say thank you for being a part of this show. Let's go on a quick break. And when we return, we'll take the news. We'll be back.
To your screen in real time.
It's not just a van. It's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB Van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB Van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
A very good morning to you. Welcome to Daybreak News on Dominion Television. I am Pat Aito. The Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, has announced a policy that will provide lifetime salary benefits to senior officer retiring from the rank of Deputy Controller of Commandants General and above. The minister announced this while speaking at the 2025 ministerial retreat, where he detailed the ministry's achievement and reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening institutional performance and capacity across all agencies. He emphasized that in the future, officer progression will be determined by a new system based on capacity and performance. The federal government has gifted the winner of the Teen Eagle Global Finals competition, Nafisa Abdullahi, 200,000 naira. The award was presented by the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, at a ceremony in Abuja. Abdullahi stood out for a command of the English language, critical thinking and articulation skills that propelled her to win against participants from 69 countries. The Nigeria Immigration Service has announced an upward review of the cost of obtaining the Nigerian Standard Passport effective from the 1st of September 2025. According to a statement signed by the Service Public Relations Officer ACI AS Akinlabi, the new fees will apply only to applications made within Nigeria. The review, which only affects passport application fees made in Nigeria, now sets a new fee threshold for a 32-page passport with 5-year validity at 100,000 naira and 64-page passports with 10-year validity at 200,000 naira. However, the statement clarified that application fees for Nigerians in the diaspora remain unchanged at $150 for the 32-page 5-year passport and $235 for the 64-page 10-year passport. The service further stated that the adjustment was aimed at maintaining the quality and integrity of the Nigerian passport while ensuring accessibility for citizens. As reactions continue to trail the decision of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to zone its 2027 presidential ticket to southern Nigeria, a party chieftain, Olawepo Hashim, has described the move as unconstitutional. In an interview, Hashim argued that the zoning arrangement amounts to a default campaign for President Bola Tinubu's re-election bid in 2027. He urged political stakeholders to prioritize issues that promote national unity rather than policies that could deepen divisions. It will be recalled that the PDP National Executive Committee, NEC, at its meeting earlier this week resolved to zone the presidential ticket to the south, while retaining the current National Working Committee, NWC, led by the acting national chairman, Ambassador Umaru Damagu. Oyo State government has urged justices of peace, JP, to remain fair and impartial in handling minor disputes within the communities, while also avoiding interference in criminal cases beyond their jurisdiction. The call was made by the Attorney General for Commissioner for Justice, Ayodeji Aikomo, who spoke at the screening of over 300 applicants for the Honorary Justice of the Peace title. The two-day exercise was designed to ensure that only competent and credible individuals are selected to serve as JPs. The role, according to the Commissioner, is vital to strengthen grassroots justice by mediating in minor disputes, promoting peace and serving as moral guides in communities. Away from Oyo State, the Oyo State government has announced an increment in the minimum wage of state civil servants from 70,000 naira to 90,000 naira. The State Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Ikewa Umebe, disclosed this while briefing newsmen on the outcome of the State Executive Council meeting. Umebe explained that the increment was to enhance workers' welfare, stating that the implementation is with immediate effect and covers all categories of the workforce. And in business, the federal government has set a target of 25% contribution from the information and communications, technology, ICT, digital economy sector to the country's gross domestic product, GDP, by 2030. The Minister of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, announced these at a stakeholders meeting in Abuja. Dr. Tijani said the government has taken bold initiatives to harness the ICT and digital economy sector to achieve maximum results in terms of empowerment and job creation, deepening financial inclusion, and improving all sectors of the national economy. And in sport, Katsina United has completed the signing of Elijah Akoni after spending 3 years with the 9-time Nigeria Premier Football League NPFL champions Eyimba. Akoni's move to Katsina United is a big boost for the Changji boys. These experience playing for a top-tier team, while Eyimba is expected to benefit Katsina United. You can visit our website on www.dominion.org to watch us live and interact with us. You can follow us across our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast, and on X at Dominioncast. And that is the Daybreak News. Thank you so much for watching. I am Pat Aito. Good morning.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram at Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
All right, I welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us. This is newspaper headlines analysis. Let's start from Nigerian Tribune this morning. IFS headline that says federal government denies signing any agreement with ASUU. Describes document as draft, set up technical team to fine-tune government proposal. You know, that's a very strong one, looking at the fact that, I mean, for a few years now, ASUU has been complaining about the 2009 agreement. And then, of course, recently they came out to say there was a renegotiation, you know, concerning some of the things that were mentioned in that 2009 agreement. And now federal government is saying we did not sign any agreement with ASUU, in describing the document as draft, set up technical team to fine-tune government's proposal. I just hope this will not lead to a strike, because currently, I mean, most of the federal universities are gearing up for a national strike, which is not quite good, I mean, for the education system, because a lot of times this government, you know, has bragged about the fact that ever since they came in, we've not seen ASUU strike, and we hope that will continue. But now that the federal government has denied signing an agreement with ASUU, I don't know how ASUU will take this. I don't know if this will lead to a national strike or not. We do hope that they can work on this, you know, before it gets out of hand. Away from that story, let's also check this one that says we are under attack. That's coming from the NNPC CEO crying out, says oil workers back reforms. I think the GCO of NNPC, that's Bayo Julari, recently came out to say his life is under threat. I mean, there's a threat to his life, and of course, some of his officials, his workers. And for now, if you notice, for about a few months now, maybe 3 to 4 months, it's been in the news over, some missing funds in that sector. The Senate has summoned him, quite a number of times, and he has refused to show up. And now he's saying his life is under attack. Definitely, I think the government must look into this because, whether, there are missing funds or not, this is not a matter to take lightly. It includes his life and, of course, the life of his workers. But I do hope that, he can come out to talk about this missing funds properly. And, of course, visit the Senate and, of course, talk to them and let all of these issues be ironed out. Away from that headline, let's also talk about this one that says, PDP considering Jonathan Obi for 2027 presidency, Bauchi governor confirms. Honestly, looking at who is going to take up the flag for the PDP, we are not quite sure because we are saying Obi, we are saying Jonathan, and of course looking at the body language of Jonathan, we are not quite sure if he's going to be interested in contesting. However, the PDP has zoned its presidency to the south. And on that note, I think Daily Momodu recently came out to say that because PDP has zoned to the south, it will make it easy for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to win the election in 2027. Why? Because he thinks a southern person is on that seat now, and then trying to remove him from office using another southern candidate is going to be difficult. If you maybe someone from the north will be the best person to actually compete with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. However, over the time, analysts have argued that whether someone is from the south and then trying to unseat him with a southern person, is not really something that cannot happen. It's not impossible. It depends on the will of the people, to actually bring up whoever they feel should be on that seat of the president. Away from that headline, let's also check this one that says 2027, I am not contesting any position. That's coming from El-Rufai. He's speaking about the ADC. We know that he's a member of the coalition, and of course he was banned from the SDP for 30 years. And he's saying he doesn't have interest in contesting as president. However, we still have the likes of Amechi, who is very interested in contesting. We have Atiku as well, who is very interested in contesting. We look out for how that will play out. Before 2027 general election. Right, it's time to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, I welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us. And I have with me in the studio, Liko Shobowale, a journalist and, of course, a public affairs analyst. Welcome on board.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very well. Let's start from this headline that says federal government denies signing any agreement with ASU, describes document as draft. Over time, I think the leadership of ASU have complained bitterly about this 2009 agreement, that has resulted in strike upon strike, and now federal government is saying we did not sign any agreement with ASU. ASU even claimed that there was a renegotiation on that 2009 agreement. What do you make of that?
Hearing that information yesterday, I believe, just like many Nigerians, I was so surprised that, there has been a lot of strike, a lot of crisis, about this issue of 2009 agreement.
Okay.
And if you can remember vividly, many lecturers were asked to leave, you know, at the University of Ilorin then, you know, many lecturers were sacked, you know, just because of this 2009 agreement. You know, only for the federal government to, you know, came out yesterday and telling us that 2009 agreement, you know, was not signed, that is just a draft or a proposal. I was so surprised, like, I believe like many other Nigerians, that ASU, you know, ASU, Academic Star University, one would believe that they are, if they are not the most intelligent, you know, they should be ranked among the most intelligent, you know, because you have professors, you have researchers, doctors, and, you know. So I don't know what really happened that the agreement, the 2000 agreement was not signed that year. But I don't know, you know, we are still explaining, we are still expecting that more explanation will be out possibly today and in the next few days, so that we can understand, you know, why, you know, and you know, a such important agreement, you know, 2009, you know, was not signed, you know, and whose faults, what happened? Because we should all understand that ASU, I believe ASU should be able to identify, or should be able to recognize the difference between an agreement and a proposal or a draft. You know, the minister said all what they are making noise about was just a draft. That the federal government there, you know, under the late president Umar Musa Yar'Adua, didn't sign that agreement. So it was also, I was so surprised, and, you know, we hope that in the coming days, possibly we have to get more of the explanation why the agreement was not signed by those that were concerned there.
Of course, we look out for how that will play out, because it's not good, I mean, for the student when issues like this happen.
And yes, you know, in the build up to that, the federal government has set up a committee, you know, headed by the permanent secretary, Abel Enitan, Federal Minister of Education, to now look at those agreements and, you know, fashion out ways. Because, you know, 2000 agreements, you know, 2009, we are now in 2025, you know, so many changes, you know, economic realities, you know, Naira, you know, depreciation, you know, all those stuff. So to consider and see the possibility of, you know, fulfilling, if not some, you know, part of the obligations of the federal government made to the member of ASU in 2009. So we look forward to, you know, to an amicable resolution, because federal government are saying that they want to eradicate, you know, or reduce these incessant strikes in our university. So we hope that, you know, all these things will be sorted out very soon.
All right, let's talk about Bayo Ojulari. I have an headline here that is saying, we are under attack. NNPC CEO cries out, oil workers back reforms. He's talking about some of the reforms that he's trying to put in place, and of course is not, you know, the engineer of that reform or those reforms. And he spoke about how President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying to introduce some things into that sector, and he's saying that his life is under, you know, serious threat, and of course, you know, people that work for him. And those also forget that, you know, he's been summoned by the Senate quite a number of times to come and talk about the missing fund in that sector. You know, do you see these, you know, connected somehow, really?
You see, part of the fund that Bayo Ojulari was talking about, you know, yesterday he made mention of the Port Harcourt refinery, and that, you know, when he came in April 2nd, you know, the Port Harcourt refinery was running then, you know, before his assumption into office. And he said, immediately he came into the office, he noticed that Port Harcourt refinery, you know, Nigeria, you know, then we were losing a sum of $500 million. That when they put in 50,000 barrels of fuel into Port Harcourt refinery, what they got less than 40%. And he was surprised at what was going on, and he stopped. And some of the staff, you know, of the NNPC then, under, you know, most of these people work with Mele Kyari, you know, they were not happy. You understand? And you know, Nigerian system, you understand, you know, most of our public servants, you know, most of our people, they do and enjoyed in corruption. And possibly, you know, this is one of the reasons why some of these staff are not supporting some of his policies. And don't forget that in the last, I think last month, you know, maybe in the last few weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, you know, there were various reports, you know, linking Bayo Ojulari to EFCC probe. You know, some were saying that, you know, it was you know, he was interacting with one of the sons of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. You know, at the time, you were even told that Bayo Ojulari was made to resign under pressure. So, and I believe, you know, all this possibly may be the work of the 5th Column Ministry that wanted Bayo Ojulari house. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you know, when he appointed Bayo Ojulari, we can say that, you know, we observe that the president, you know, is having such a huge confidence in Bayo Ojulari, possibly because of his antecedents. And Bayo Ojulari, you know, because of his, you know, experiences in the oil and gas sector, you know, that sector, you know, even Nigerian richest man, Dangote, also praised, you know, the qualities of Bayo Ojulari when he was appointed. So, I think he understands the politics and he understands the intakes, you know, when it comes to the oil and gas sector. You know, not only Nigeria, you know, the guy is, you know, is an international man. And possibly, you know, he came out a few weeks ago and said Nigeria cannot continue to be running all these refineries, Port Harcourt refineries, and the other one that started working a year after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came. So, you know, you should expect that most times those people that, you know, that enrich themselves in corruption, you know, those people that enjoy, you know, corruptions, you know, when you are trying to put things in proper perspective, they will revolt, you know, they will reject, and possibly maybe that's what Bayo Ojulari is talking about. And you know, his claims have been substantiated in the last few weeks, you know, going by intrigues, going by accusations, going by so many, you know, allegations, you know, because the FCC, you know, like 2 weeks ago came out, their chairman came out and said, you know, there is nothing like EFCC probe, you know, against Bayo Ojulari, that he was not made to resign under duress. He was not. So
there was even a time they said he resigned.
That was what I'm saying, that they said the chairman of EFCC forced him to resign. And in fact, EFCC chairman threatened to sue, I don't know, the publisher of that story, that nothing of such happened. So, you know, when we have, you know, we have Nigerians that are enjoying this corrupt system. So, you know, whenever you want to, you know, you are bringing in changes that want to correct all these anomalies, the usual style is that they revolt. You know, they are so comfortable in that corrupt system, so they revolt. They do not want that changes to be made. And I believe that's what Bayo Ojulari is right, and I believe that's what, you know, the kind of problems, because, you know, they said so many things about him, you know, traveling with so many ladies, you know, staying in a 5-star hotel in US, you know, traveling in private jets, you know, all at the expense of the Nigerian government. So possibly these are the, you know, when you fight corruption, you know, corruption sometimes you fight back. So possibly the corruption that Bayo Ojulari is currently tackling in the NNPC possibly is, you know, is fighting back. How do you explain the country losing $500 million every month? You know, when you put in 50 barrels of crude oil into the Port Harcourt refinery, you are bringing out less than 40%, and we are saying that we are now producing petrol. It doesn't make sense.
All right, I think it's a good one, looking at the fact that, you know, he's trying to do something great in that
just
sector.
To clean up NNPC.
How can the government come in to actually safeguard his life now and the lives of people working for him?
Well, yes, I believe it is very simple. You know, the most important thing is, the President Tinubu appointed him. And as far as the president is still having that confidence in you, is still having that trust in you, all necessary machineries will be put in place to ensure that, for a safety, and, as far as he continuing to have the ears of the president, and the president continues to sanction most of the reforms that he's doing, I think his life is safe.
All right. Away from that, let's talk about this headline that says ADC flags suspicious INEC PVC data, says Osun's 393,000 registrations in 7 days statistically impossible. Demands audit at Southwest account for 67% of nationwide registration. And apart from this, I think Atiku also came out to say that, these numbers, they are inflated. We know the issue of Osun State. Why should we have 393,000 registrations in just 7 days? This is a huge threat, to the general elections and, of course, even the Osun State election. What do you make of this?
You see, I don't really understand what Atiku Abubakar and his people in ADC are saying. They are talking about the registration, the high level of residents of Osun State in this ongoing PVC registration exercise. We have Osun State coming first. Osun State is having about 300,000 registrants as we speak, followed by Lagos State, and followed by one other state I cannot remember now. We should all understand that Osun State will be having his election in the next few months. And, in Nigeria, yes, INEC organizes PVC registrations, election, and all the stuff. But politicians are the ones that mobilizes for this exercise. Adeleke will be contesting. And Adeleke knows, Governor Adeleke in Osun State is well loved by the people of Osun State. In the last few days, you can see adoptions, rallies by civil servants. So, PDP as a ruling government in Osun State is seriously mobilizing. A politician that knows his onions, knows that if you are contesting now, your election is starting now. Because things are gradually changing in Nigeria due to various technical innovations that INEC is bringing in, the beavers and the stuff, electronic collations, uploading. It will be so difficult for anybody to be thinking of rigging now as we speak in Nigeria. It can still be done, but it will be difficult. So, a politician that knows his onions knows that if you are contesting, even in 2027, you should know that. See, in Oyo State, like 2 days ago, someone called me and was telling me that a particular aspirant, a colleague, in this calling, that the person, that is organizing a PVC in his room, in his offices, possibly maybe because the person is thinking that he will be contesting. So, a serious politician knows that if you are contesting in 2027, not to talk of someone that is contesting, they are in Osun State. Aregbesola is the potent chairman of ADC, national potent secretary of ADC. So, are you saying that with the popularity of Aregbesola, with the acclaim, acceptability of Aregbesola in Osun State, so they cannot? We are talking about over 300,000 new registrants now in Osun State.
Yeah.
Close to 400. It is the responsibility of the political party to mobilize. PDP, Governor Adeleke, I just informed you now, I think yesterday, I think it's yesterday or 2 days ago, all the civil servants in Osun State came out for Governor Ademola Adeleke. You understand? Rallies, solidarity work. It was with them. So, the man is mobilizing, his party men, they are mobilizing. So, what are you expecting of someone that will be contesting in the next few months? And we are having PVC going on, previously ongoing now. So of course, they will be all out, mobilizing, bringing new, people to participate in the election.
So you don't suspect any form of inflation?
No. As they speak, it's happening in Oyo State. Just like I've informed you, some serious contestants are mobilizing as well. So don't be surprised by the time they release the numbers of the new register in Oyo State. You'll be surprised. They are mobilizing. Just like I told someone just called me yesterday and was reporting. He reported all these things to me. So I'm not surprised. I don't know what Atiku Abubakar is talking about, and I don't know what the ADC they are talking about. Someone is contesting. If Atiku Abubakar is stayed in PDP and he is planning to contest for president in PDP in 2027, and Ademola Adeleke is a member of his party, PDP, will he be saying what he's saying now? That we are complaining, we are saying that people are not coming out to vote. We have so many, underage, guys that maybe in the next few weeks, in the next few months, they'll be 18. So all of them are coming out. And don't forget all these obedient movements, they are mobilizing. So in the whole Osun State, where we have 4-5 million residents of the state, and we are having new registrants close to 400,000, where we have almost 6 million residents. Someone is coming out that they should, I don't think INEC is that idle to now be probing into why in Lagos State we have 222,000 new registrants, because the election is still 2027. But Ademola Adeleke knows that. Ademola Adeleke, it's having a whole lot of, how will I put it, foes ahead of him. He's having the ADC, he's having the APC, and he's the sitting governor. So it is the responsibility of the man to mobilize. The man is preparing for his election, because I'm so sure even the APC, Ambo, the governorship aspirants in APC, they are seriously mobilizing. We have our friends there. They are mobilizing. We see them every day. They are working. So for us to be having close to 400,000 new registrants in a state that is preparing for election in the next few months, and someone is coming out that INEC should look into what's the meaning of that? Okay,
you mentioned beavers. Has beavers helped to reduce rigging at all in Nigerian election?
I'm telling you, if there is anything that beavers has done for us in Nigeria, it has reduced. See, in the last by-election held in Oyo State, the House of Representatives, people were giving 5,000 naira. Some were giving 2,000 naira. The highest bidder won that election. Before now, a government in power, you will have been hearing of ballot box snatches, stuffing of ballot boxes.
There was some snatching of ballot boxes, not in Oyo State but in some other states.
See, there is a reduced. I never had that in Oyo State.
Yeah, it was not.
There is there has been a reduced cases of ballot boxes snatching, stuffing of ballot boxes, because even when you snatch the ballot boxes, where are you taking them to? You can only snatch ballot boxes, or collation starts from the polling unit. APC 10, PDP 10, ADC 10, SDP 10. We all have the result already, so we follow up the result to the local government polling collation center. From collation center to the state collations, you have the result already with the help of beavers.
Okay, so if I get you correctly,
the highest bidder in Nigeria now wins the election.
So if I get you correctly now,
see, there will be rigging, there will be ballot box snatching, there will be stuffing of ballot boxes, but it has been reduced to the minimum. The last by-election in Oyo State, if not for the issue of beavers, we will have reported cases of violence, ballot box snatching, ballot boxes stuffing. But because we now have beavers, we now have all these collation center from the polling booth to the local government to the state collation center, it has been greatly reduced. So a serious politician knows that If you are contesting 2027, your time starts now.
So if I get you correctly now, what we should be looking at is the issue of vote buying and not, rigging.
No, it's going to be highest bidder, vote buying.
Okay.
People takes 5,000 naira, takes 2,000 naira, and they vote for the person that give them 5,000 naira, even in your state here.
It's a serious issue.
Can you imagine a candidate lost his polling booth? You don't understand, because he was not ready to.
No, some politicians will tell you, we know they give shishi, and they will
That is why they will be losing election. Because they don't give chichi, they will continue to be losing election. Nigeria is not ripe to the state that you will be telling us that you don't give chichi. I don't give chichi now and come and win election in Nigeria.
Are we supposed to adapt
That is the state we are now.
Okay.
In Nigeria, see, it's a gradual process. We started this process in 1999. We are in 2025. You know what we used to have in 1999? You know what? A former president, may God bless his soul, former president, late President Yar'Adua, said the election that brought him into office was not perfect. It was rigged. You understand? You remember the cases of Maurice Zivu, may God bless his soul. You know, electoral manipulations everywhere.
Even 2023 elections, most of the top shots in politics came out to say it was rigged. They even said that it was not the current president that won, which has been contested.
See, I can confirm to you that if I was on the field, I covered Lagos State. I was at the polling booth of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I was with Jandor. I covered the election in Lagos State. President Tinubu lost in Lagos State for the first time. So what are you now saying, that the election was rigged? Yes, there may be manipulations, but not the way we used to have it then.
Okay.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu lost in Lagos. Very unusual. So what are you now saying, that election was rigged? President Bola Ahmed Tinubu won that election free and squarely. 8 million, 6 million. So what are you saying? We know what we used to have in Nigeria now. So the election in Nigeria now, we are moving. You know, maybe in the next few years we get there. But the stage we are now, the election malpractices has been greatly reduced. Ballot boxes snatching, ballot boxes stuffing, greatly reduced. The stage we are now is that Beavers is working for us. Money for hand, back for gun. A time will come that we graduate from that level to some higher stages.
All right, I think it's a fine place to leave it. And of course, just like you say, we're getting better. We just hope things will get, much more better. A big thanks to you for joining, Newspaper Headlines this morning. Thank you for staying with us. Please don't go anywhere. Big story will come up soon, and something is waiting. Please stay with us.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB Van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB Van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Good morning and welcome to The Big Story on Daybreak Live Extra on Dominion Television. I am your host, Samson Balogun. And today we'll be exploring one of the most dynamic tools for ministry and influence, the power of storytelling. Stories shape how we see the world, inspire faith, and create lasting impact. And when it comes to gospel filmmaking in Nigeria, few names capture the journey better than evangelist Kayode Babalola. Of course, we'll be talking at length on what it means to be a gospel artist in the country. Thank you for joining us this morning. Evangelist Kayode Babalola is my guest on this show, widely known as King KDB. He's a gospel drama minister, filmmaker, actor, preacher, and the Director General of the Gospel Filmmaking Network. His journey, which began with academic pursuits at the Polytechnic of Ibadan and the University of Ibadan, took a defining turn when he came into limelight through the role as Agbade in the acclaimed series Abattoir by evangelist Damilola Mike Bamiloye. Beyond acting, he has directed and produced impactful works such as Afopino and Flowers and Spikes, merging creativity with faith in ways that speak directly to the earth. Also an entrepreneur and CEO of Bricks and Beans Limited, evangelist Kayode Babalola represents a blend of vision, leadership, and passion for using film as a tool of evangelism. Today we dive into his journey, the passion, challenges, and victories that define his work, and how storytelling has become his pulpit to minister the word. All right, good morning once again. I have with me in the studio, in flesh, evangelist Kayode Babalola. Good to have you here.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right. Beyond screen and ministry, who is Kayode Babalola?
Well, Kayode Babalola is an architect,
Okay.
into construction, but also a drama minister, stage and film, and then a father, a husband, and that's who I am in a nutshell. Yes.
Okay. So, growing up, what shaped your journey into storytelling, filmmaking?
Well,
Was there a
think,
moment while growing up that you felt like, I think I have passion for this, or you took a turn when you got to the higher institution?
No. I've been in this for a long time. Growing up, I just realized that even though I was a science student, but I like stories, I like literature, I like films, and I like writing poems. I like creative things, you know, right from when I was young. And I realized that being a Christian, I tend towards writing godly stories. And then in church,
I had to start acting in church right from a younger age. Then at some point I realized, I discovered it's a calling upon my life. And then that was when I started officially. That was in 1999. Okay. About 26 years now. That was when I inaugurated my own ministry, my own drama ministry. Started fully as a drama and film evangelist.
Right. You studied at the Polytechnic of Ibadan.
Yes.
In Ibadan too, you went to the University of Ibadan.
Yes, sir.
So how did that shape your journey as a drama minister? Was there a point while in school that also influenced what you do today?
Yes, because I've been doing this a longer time. Even on campus, I attended, I'm a Baptist, so I attended Baptist Student Fellowship on campus, and I was drama court for 2 years, 2 different sessions. So even on campus, I was doing drama. But you see, what we do as an architect is creative. You know, you have a floor plan, which is a blueprint for a building, and a script also is a blueprint for film. You know, so you develop a script into film, develop a blueprint, the floor plan of a building into a masterpiece, into a lovely building. So the creative process is about the same.
Okay, let me ask you this. You mentioned that filmmaking, gospel filmmaking for you is not just a job, it's a calling. So when did you discover that as a calling, and how did you know this is my calling?
Okay, all right. There are 2 calls a drama minister must have answered. So the first one is a call to salvation, because if you're not a child of God, if you're not born again, you cannot be a minister of the gospel. It's like someone that is drowning, trying to help someone that is drowning. You know, so that's the idea behind it. So I first got born again, and in my journey with God, I realized that God is calling me to serve Him in the film industry.
All right. You, before Abattoir came out, you've been around.
Yes.
But how did that role as Gbade in Abattoir change the trajectory of how you say things and how you do things?
Well, you see, we shot the first episode of Abattoir during COVID, early 2020, you know, and it was just let's make a film, let's make a series, and we didn't know that it was going to be as loud as it became. And then by the grace of God, we released the first episode, and then it was the reception was so massive, and then so we decided to go back and we started shooting other episodes. And then when it came out, people were so receptive, they loved it. And outside Nigeria, people stopped me to take pictures. You know, when I find myself in the airport, everywhere, even airport workers, you know, they take pictures and say Abattoir, 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 Abattoir. It really changed, you know. Before that, I've been doing this for about 20 years before then. So, but it seems as if that was my first project, because people loved it, people loved the character, and it was so massive, and it has changed the way people see gospel films. It has also changed my life personally as an actor, and it tells us that we are doing something good. And of course, there's room for improvement. We're getting better and better by the day. But that changed the trajectory of gospel film, you know, massively.
I was about to ask you that, was that a turning point in your career as a gospel filmmaker? But then you mentioned that.
Yes.
So
yes.
What did that teach you as a person, you know, being in that role at that time?
It teaches me that people take notice of what you do. People see when you try to make a difference, when you try to get better and improve in your craft, people see, people take notice, and putting your best into something you do pays. You know, people see it, people acknowledge it, and then there's a reward for excellence. So when you put your best into what you do, there's a reward for excellence.
Okay, people call you King DKB.
Yeah.
How did you come about that nickname?
Okay, all right. I think I have 2 nicknames. Some people call me K-Babs. Some people call me King DKB. My full name is Daramola Kayode Babalola, so it's just the acronym.
An acronym for
it's DKB.
How about K-Babs?
K-Babs Kayode Babalola.
So people, whichever they want to pick, they just
yes,
pick
yeah, they just speak, and then maybe the name is too long, so they have to shorten it to make it easier.
Now, can you share the background story of your first project? as a filmmaker, gospel filmmaker?
Okay, my first project was titled Onabayo. It was a vision to do something. You see, what drives us is that people have been talking about gospel films in the past, and they say yes, they have the message, but the quality is not there, you know, compared to secular films and all that. So when we came, we are trying to merge the message that our fathers in faith in the normal ministry they are known for, and to bring our exposure and knowledge to try and improve in this. And my first film was 2002 that I produced my first film Onabayo. So what we try to do is to up the ante, you know, try to improve on the quality of gospel films through our project. And then up until now, that is what we've been trying to do. And now as the DG of the Gospel Filmmaking Network, what we preach, what we teach, what we push is to improve the quality of our productions so much so that people can begin to see that, yes, gospel film is getting to a different level than what you are used to before.
All right. In your own words, what is the true power of storytelling, especially in gospel filmmaking?
Storytelling is powerful on its own. But storytelling in gospel filmmaking is much more powerful because there is now a life behind it. There is a spirit behind it. There is a breath of life. There's God's power, you know, behind it. And it's so powerful that you can change lives, can transform destinies, can change the society and make the world a better place. I've seen people who have stopped me or who have written to me, who have sent me DMs and said, I wanted to commit suicide. I saw your film. And they commit suicide, and there is no reward bigger than that. If someone is about to kill themselves, and then because of your project, because of something you've done, they are no more killing themselves. You know, I've seen people who are saying, I want to commit abortion. You know, I saw your project, I saw it wasn't great, and I didn't do it again. You know, we are preaching, and we are saying we're taking against the ills of society. And we're saying this and this and this are not right, they're not good. You know, as a person, and then even as a child of God. So as we do that, we are making the world a better place, by and by.
Okay, your projects are relatable to modern and secular audiences. How do you blend that while still telling the story in the gospel way?
We realize that what we do now is more contemporary gospel films. Okay. You know, before in gospel filmmaking, we do a lot of films that you see demons, you know, and all that. And then we realize that some of them are not relatable to people. They want to understand where you're coming from. They want to be able to identify with that world. So what we do now is more contemporary. But we realize that you can do all that without compromising where you're coming from. And so what we're doing now is to tell contemporary stories with a touch of ministry, with a touch of preaching, without being preachy. You know, we are not coming with the Bible and saying, so James chapter 2 verse 4 says no. But what we're trying to do is to incorporate our messages into our stories in such a way that we can preach at you without preaching at you, if that makes sense, you know. So we're telling contemporary stories, but without being too preachy. But still, the messages will be clear.
It's being passed across.
Yes, and you understand what we're trying to talk about.
In terms of reach and quality, do you think the gospel filmmaking industry can actually compete head-to-head with the secular Nollywood industry that we currently have in Nigeria, due to the revolution we are seeing in that industry too, as we speak?
Our position is not competing.
Okay.
We will not say we are competing. We stand, you know, in our own space, doing what we're doing, but without even looking at the other side. We are every day up in the ante. If for an avid follower of gospel films, you will see the growth, you know, over the years. And I can tell you for free that the growth is going to be massive in the coming years. We are now in the process of shooting the first gospel film going on Netflix. Okay. So we have some producers coming from Nollywood wanting to work with us, and I can assure you that a film is coming now that we are we are going on location in the next couple of weeks. We have Film One on board. Okay. So it's going to be on cinema, and from cinema it's going to be on Netflix, and then it's going to be on Prime TV, and that is growth, and that's the first of many. So we, in our own space, we keep improving, we keep getting better and better in our storytelling, in our acting, in our, you know, the equipment we use in our productions. Our production value is more massive now. Before, we could spend 5 million naira to make a gospel film, but now we are spending 20 million naira, 30 million naira to make a film. You know, it's still early days. I always say that even in secular world, you have not two good films, and you have great films. Right. You know, and in the gospel sphere also, we have films that are still coming up, but we have great films. But even our great films are still improving and getting better at them. We are having more budget to work with. We are having, you know, great actors, great storytelling, great production value. And like the film I'm talking about now, in the next couple of weeks, you're going to be seeing it, you know, the advertisements and everything. It's for Film One, you know, the owners of Film House to come on board for a project. You could see that they saw something, you know, and it's a massive one. So I can tell you for free that there is so much growth in the gospel film industry, and the next couple of years you're going to see how massive it's going to be in terms of standing side by side and even, you know, going higher than most secular films.
Okay. Now, as the Director General of Gospel Film Making Network, what ideas and vision currently drive you as a person to inspire the industry and revolutionize what we currently have?
Training and retraining, you know, being up to speed with global best practices. Okay. Equipment worldwide, filmmaking techniques and systems worldwide, you know, getting better and better and better and better. And no longer do I want people to say gospel films, they have a message, they are not good technically. I do not want to hear that anymore. So what drives me as a person is to say we are not losing our message, which is the core of what we do. But even with that, we want to still keep improving in our technicalities, keep getting better and better and better, use great equipment, like we are using Harry, Alexa for the film I'm talking about now, you know, improving in our filmmaking techniques, you know, getting better and better and better and better and better, so much so that it won't be an excuse to say you're not going to watch a gospel film because
of the quality of the output.
That won't be an excuse anymore. So that's what we're trying to do. We recently did the boot camp here in Ibadan, where we had almost 100 people come to learn filmmaking, practical filmmaking techniques, you know. So that's what we do in GFN. Seminars, lectures, technical sessions, and bringing ourselves up to speed with the best practices globally. Okay,
now you also practice entrepreneurship. How do you blend that, you know, the two words together with filmmaking? Do they go side by side, or you just find time to get along with you know, both worlds?
You know, when God is going to call you, God has something in mind, and God works your way, works your life in such a way that things can be easier for you. God knew what He wanted me to do when He asked me to do architecture. Okay. And so as an architect, I have my company by the grace of God. So I have staff who work with me. So sometimes I'm on film sets and I'm on the construction site. So I come in here, I have people working with me. Of course, they keep me up to speed, technology and all that. But any short break I have, I rush down to the construction site, see what is happening, make corrections, come back on set and all that. Because I've never worked for anybody in my life except when I was doing maybe IT, youth service and all that. So I've always been on my own, and has always helped me to schedule my time in such a way that it will really be flexible for me to be able to do the two things I do.
When it comes to gospel filmmaking, funding and distribution has been a major problem from time immemorial. So what creative ideas have you brought on board to see that people who are in that field, as we speak, are getting their works distributed more than it used to be, and of course funding for projects?
One of the, like you said, those are the two major problems we have, and spot on, you nailed it. So one of the ways by which we are working on funding is to ensure, so there are different ways by which gospel films are being funded. First and foremost, we have seeds.
Okay.
People who believe in what you do, they sow into it, one. Number two, we have YouTube. Our films are on YouTube now, and then some money comes in from YouTube. And then the third thing is what we do amongst ourselves. Well, I support you, you support me.
Okay.
I know your worth, I respect your worth, I appreciate your worth, but I might not pay you your worth because of the relationship we have. But of course, you get something, and then you come to my set also, we do that for ourselves. And that's really helped us to bridge the gap.
Okay.
And then many of us, we have equipment also, and we rent it out to each other with this same arrangement. That, you know, I support you with my equipment. You know, I'm supposed to collect also amount of money, but I'm going to collect this because of our relationship and, you know, our end goal. And then YouTube is a major focus for now, because that's where we make, that's where our films go to. Even if you're a secular actor, that's where your films go to. But what we are trying to do now is to pull resources together and do collaborations, so that we can bridge the gap of funding, and we can now go higher, go to the cinemas, go to streaming platforms. So those are distribution platforms also, and then more funding, then you can now pull it back again, and then the cycle continues.
Okay. Now, let's talk about this, which most gospel ministers have actually faced in their careers. Have you ever faced the resistance from within the church about how gospel films should be presented?
Every church, every denomination has their own belief system, the way they do things, and you see, you must understand the uniqueness of each denomination and each doctrine. For example, up until a couple of years ago, Deeper Life does not believe in films, but now they do. In fact, they even made a film. But even at that, there are ways that you can make a film for Deeper Life, and some other churches like that. Churches like, I don't always like to mention names, but then there are churches that don't use earrings, churches that don't believe in jewelries and all that. So films from there, when you understand where you're coming from, then you make films. The reason is this: if a church's doctrine does not support ladies wearing trousers, and you make a film for them, then you've lost your audience from the first scene. So what we do and what we preach is that if you understand doctrines of each church, you walk according to it so that you don't lose them. Because I always say that when your child has headache, you want your child to take paracetamol, right? But you know that maybe the drug, the medicine is bitter. What do you do? So the pharmaceutical companies, they coat the drugs with something sweet. So the child thinks he's taking something sweet, but he's taking medicine. And so that's what you should do also when you are preaching. You do not give them that bitter pill like that and force it down their throat. You're going to lose them. It's psychological. So what do? You play according to what they want. You can preach without affecting doctrine. You know, as long as you know this is what this church works with, then this is what they want, then you work towards that. You work with that. You do not say because it's my film, then I'm going to, no, don't do that. So you not lose your audience from the first thing.
All right. What is your take on collaborations between a gospel filmmaking network and the secular Nollywood industry?
The collaboration must have a limit.
Okay.
The collaboration can come from behind the scene, from producing, from the technical aspect, but not acting on the stage, not acting in the film, actually. This is what we believe. We believe that a message is as important as a messenger. We do not say you are a sinner, but we want to be sure that you are part of us because you cannot just call anybody to come and mount your pulpit as a preacher. Right. So because it's important. Also, these things, maybe as you go on, things can change, you know, because we are sure that there are children of God in the secular world. We know them, some of them are our friends, and we are sure of their salvation, we are sure of what they do. But sometimes we do not want confusion in the heart of our audience. For example, in the secular world, you have no inhibitions. You could touch a lady anyhow, you could hug, you could kiss, you could do all that. We do not do that here. We do not touch, we do not kiss, we do not romance. And then we do not want confusion in the heart of our audience. When they just saw a film now, when this guy is molesting a girl, kissing and all that, and then comes here again and is preaching, you know. But as time goes on, these things, it depends on who you are as a person, excuse me, and what you are doing. We know that children of God there, and we are open to work with children of God that are there. Okay. But you know, we still feel that there should be a sort of control.
Try to draw a line.
Try to draw a line, because there are, you see, we do not want confusion. Okay. We don't want confusion, and there are things we will not do in order to pass across a message.
Right. You can't get here without criticism. So how do you handle it?
We sometimes it's bitter. Sometimes you cannot take it gracefully. Sometimes you feel sad, you feel bad about it. But when you calm down and let it sink in, you can now use it as a fuel to get better and to improve. You see, many people don't understand who you are and where you're coming from. They don't understand why you're doing what you're doing. They don't understand the challenges you have to face. Gospel filmmaking has lots of challenges. One of them you mentioned, funding, you know. And so when you sacrifice a lot to be able to still do the little you have done, and people still criticize it, you might have a problem. But I know where people are coming from. Whether gospel or not gospel, a film is a film. And they expect a film to look in a certain way, a certain standard they expect. So you cannot use doing gospel as a cover, as an excuse to say it's because I'm doing gospel. The film must follow the basic rules of filmmaking. You know, I understand that. So what you can do is to take the criticism, use it as a fuel, and use it to get better in what you do.
How do you personally measure success in gospel filmmaking? Let's say there's a particular project and then you want to measure success on that project. So when it comes to gospel filmmaking, how do you measure success?
Success for us is souls getting saved, people getting blessed, testimonies of people who have seen our films who say, your film blessed me. I was going through a tough time. I was going through a difficult time. And your film helped me and made me, you know, go through that process effectively. I lost someone very dear to me. Your film helped me to, you know, go through that moment in my life, that dark moment in my life. Your film, you know, I wanted to commit suicide. Your film helped me. I didn't commit suicide. That is our own success. Okay. If money comes, yes, we need money. We accept money. We celebrate. We are happy that we have money. But first and foremost, for a gospel film, the success is how much it has blessed lives and saved destinies.
So what do you think can be done to create space for gospel filmmaking on the global level, especially Nigerian gospel films? Like,
in the global sense, gospel films abroad, they are filling that space. Okay. You could see the Credit Brothers, The Forge, Overcomer, you know, all those films. They are making real numbers in Hollywood. I realized that the government and people should realize that gospel film is doing something in the society. It is helping to shape destinies. It is helping to correct ills in society. And government companies should give gospel films more chance to do that. Hardly would you be able to see a normal film, a secular film with your children. I have children and I can tell you that for free. You have to quickly change the channel. But in a gospel film, you are sure that you won't see someone kissing someone. You know, the government and people and companies should understand that we play an important role. For example, when you take your child to the salon to fix her hair, what you're going to hear throughout are going to be secular songs. And then before you know it, your child gets on and be singing that song. Because, you know, for 2-3 hours, that's what she's listening to. You can't go to an eatery. Take your family to an eatery, and what you see on screen in form of musical videos are soft porns. You just try it. Just take your child to one eatery, one restaurant, and then they are playing on TV. What you see is not children friendly. But for gospel films, we are sure that at least that is not there. What we do, we shape destinies and we influence, the society in a positive manner. And I know that as we keep getting better in our craft, as we keep improving in our quality, I know that by the grace of God, we're going to fill in that space. I always say that companies should, invest in gospel films, not for financial returns, but for the fact that, you see, a society is a reflection of what we see and what we do. We are all contributing to society. And so, for example, I learned last month in a school, in secondary school here in Ibadan, they saw a mark of family planning on a 14-year-old child, and then she said, not only me, my friends, and they realized that 90% of female students in that school, 13, 14, they all have family planning on their body. It's a reflection of society. We are all contributing to make this happen. But you could see that at least gospel films will not do that for your children. Right. So I feel that as we keep getting better in our craft, and that's why when you see gospel films now, what we do, our stories are not condemning anymore. Before, it's always like, forcing something down your throat. But now, we are trying to be a
mild way to get the
message across. So, I think people should realize that what gospel film is doing is to make the society a better place. Otherwise, if you continue down this road, the next couple of years, what you're going to see in society will be terrifying.
Now, let's talk about this. You recently produced a movie that won 8 awards. Right. How did you do it?
It's just getting better, like I said, in our craft, paying attention to details, paying attention to every aspect of production.
What's the title of that movie again?
I think that was Nema.
Nema,
yeah. Paying attention to every aspect of filmmaking. For example, storytelling. You ensure that you spend time because the story is the blueprint. It is whatever is in the story that will come out on the film. So the story, the sets, the locations, the costumes, the acting, the directing, every aspect of film making must be paid attention to.
Okay. Now, also, you recently produced 2 films with your wife, right? What's the title again?
Okay.
Looks like recently you have been churning out films back to back.
Okay. We did Flowers and Spikes.
Okay.
That's about family, but then it's about emotional abuse. Because we realize in society there's physical abuse, there's emotional abuse. A man will say he cannot beat you, he does not beat you, but the words he speaks are lashes, Then we did that for Pino, it's about youth. That one was about a young man that was supposed to be king, and he had restrictions, things he was not supposed to do, just for 60 days. Okay. And he couldn't just control himself for those 60 days. And what we are trying to say, sir, is that recently I read about a 16-year-old boy who is into Yahoo Plus. He's into rituals and all that to make money. I said, if it was a 40-something, 50-something, 60-something-year-old man who does something, of course it's not excusable, but you could say maybe he has faced life challenges. And
he's just,
but what has the 16-year-old, what has he experienced that I would say he's doing money ritual? It's a reflection of society. So I'm saying with that film that if a young man can suffer, so to speak, for a while, just for a little time, so that you can be able to get something better in the long run, it makes more sense. But what young men want now is immediate gratification. I want to have the best cars now. I want to have the best life now. I want to have the best of everything now. And then at the end of the day, they don't have it for long, because all these things have repercussions.
Now, looking back, what would you say is your greatest lesson so far in the filmmaking industry?
Do not think you are better than the other person. That you are a gospel filmmaker, that you are preaching does not make you holier and better than the other person. You are just graced through God's mercy, to be in this path. So I'm not better than the guy doing secular films. I'm not holier than him. I'm not special than him. Just by God's grace and mercy that I'm on this path to preach the gospel. So when you understand that, you come down from your high horse and you're not preaching down at people, you are reasoning with people, you know. And that's the greatest lesson I've learned.
All right, before we go, if you could correct one misconception about gospel filmmaking, what would that be?
Okay, to be that gospel filmmaking is not bad. Okay. People think gospel films are bad. Gospel films are low quality, and I will correct that. And I will say that in every field of endeavor, there are good, there are not so good, there are great and not so great. In here also we have people that are, you know, works in progress, and some people have, you know, doing greater things, and then it depends on which one you see. But I'm saying that we are improving, we're getting better, and in the next couple of years you will see us more and more.
Kayode Babalola, thank you for joining us in the studio.
Thank you very much.
It has been a wonderful session with you.
Thank you.
And we do hope we'll get to host you one more time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right, that's where we draw the curtains on the big story on Daybreak Live Extra. Through the life and work of Evangelist Kayode Babalola, we have seen how storytelling in gospel filmmaking is not just about pictures on screen, but about lives being touched and destinies transformed. The story reminds us that when talent meets faith, impact becomes inevitable. Thank you for staying with us on Dominion Television. Until next time, that will be on this show. Of course, on this segment of the show, keep telling stories that inspire, uplift, and transform, because every story has the power to make a difference. Samson Balogun is my name. Let's go on a quick break. And when we return, Daybreak Live Extra continues on this star. We'll be back.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
All right, welcome back from that short break. The show is still Daybreak Live Extra right here on Dominion Television. This is the Friday edition. We told you we have a lot to unpack on this show. And of course, I know that you have actually picked one or two from this show so far. So link up with us on all socials, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast. And on X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. I have with me in the studio the Queens this Friday morning, with whom we'll be making sense of trends on the social media, and of course this is really interesting. Uluwayemi Adela Queens here and Pata Ito together will do something this.
That's what I called my name before.
Okay.
Something is actually heading somewhere.
I'm shocked too.
Just wait. Okay.
So we're waiting.
President Tinubu approves lifetime salary benefits for retiring senior officers. That's coming from the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji Ojo. Now, I do not have a problem with benefits for, senior officers. Yes, you can give them anything. As long as...
Who are the senior officers? That's my first
We have the controller, we have the deputy controller, we have the CG and the likes.
Okay. So, I do not have a problem with that. You can actually give them, in fact, you can buy them houses, give them cars on a yearly basis, just like they do,
benefits you want
just
to
like
give
they do to ex-governors in states like that. I know for sure that it happened in Oyo State. It's a regular thing in Oyo State, so it happens. Even when Governor Seyi Makinde came on board, I think every now and then ex-governors get one or two. I think deputy governors like too. They also get it, and they are on lifetime salaries like that, just like senators too. So, what my problem is the fact that what is the faith of those who are not senior officers? I mean, these people will also, just like the senior officers spent 35 years in service, and some of them will retire early due to one reason or the other, probably through sickness. They can no longer go forward with the civil service, and then they will have to, chicken out and say, look, at this point, I do not have the capacity to go ahead. But then they are they have reached that stage on the civil service where they get monthly pays. The problem is, why is it that every government that comes, regardless of the party, all they want to do is to enrich the rich? It's a problem. I mean, this is becoming more of a disaster in the country, and I'm not sorry to say it because you look at the current situation. Nigerians, the minimum wage in Nigeria is 70,000 naira. And then someone will retire on that 70,000, maybe somewhere around 100,000. That's where he is going to retire. Tell me how much he's going to earn on a monthly basis when he has retired. It's going to be a problem if he failed to probably send his children to school. I mean, it's only in Africa where we rely so much on what the children brings to the table. I mean, in the Western world, I mean, they do not care because your future is catered for while you are working. And no pension office will give you problems because you want to take what is rightfully yours.
Going every day to
back
verify.
and forth. Nobody is going to tell you to come and verify when there is technology. But it happens here. Despite the mega amount of money they want to pay them, some of them die because of this. Some of them, they encounter health challenges. They can no longer go. They can't feed themselves, and then they pass away due to that. I'm not taking your time. I'm just saying, what will this do to average Nigerian psychology as we speak? Because someone who knows that no matter how hard he tries, if he rises in the civil service, he will never be able to earn more than 300,000, maybe 350, and then he retires. What will he get at the end of each month when he retires? And someone who is on millions he's on millions already, and he's getting
appointment.
Okay. So, under 2-3 years that the government actually appointed him to be there, he has, taken enough money that he feels like he's okay. And then when he's gone, the government still feels like, oh, we should pay him for life. Why not pay the people who earn meager salary for life?
Okay, I think it's an issue speaking about that lifetime salaries, because why not pension? And of course, we still have police officers, retired police officers that are complaining bitterly about their gratuities and their pension. Recently, they came out to say we are going to die with Showore. Why? Because the man is fighting for them, tooth and nail. So these are the areas that we should look at. It's a good initiative to say we want to pay them. I mean, they've worked, for the country and the likes. But then, can we begin to look for how we can benefit the life of commoners too? Look at the increase, in the passport now, So I don't see how commoners will benefit.
The same ministry. That's where I'm angry.
I don't see how the commoners will benefit from this increase, because at the end of the day, the gap between the rich and the poor is expanding. Yeah. And of course, the people are going to suffer for it. Yes, this increase, or let me say this lifetime salaries, it will benefit some certain persons in the country when we pump money like that into the economy. But can we begin to look for how to better the lives of Nigerians? Just recently, the president came out to say that he was speaking to the governors to say that, can you water the grass more? And then we are seeing the effect of that statement, because I mean the governor of Imo State has increased,
Around
minimum wage
4,000
to 104,000 naira.
Interesting story.
From 70 to 90. Those are
At
the
least
kind of
those
things that
ones
we are
can
looking
pay.
for.
They can pay for international passport with their 1 month salary, and they will still get 4,000 naira change.
Definitely. I've seen pensioners who died, I mean, trying to get their money after working for the country. Those are the areas we should look at. The police and, of course, other people. Look at the lecturers. Some professors are still on 450,000 naira for over 15 years ago. These are the areas we should look at. Some of them will retire and then they'll start begging from hand to hand. Please, let's make it work,
Well,
honestly.
to me, like Samson said, that this thing is coming from the same
The same
ministry.
yeah.
Before we wrap up the gist in the morning, I said this man started on a good note, and I'm sure he doesn't want to end on a bad note. The bad note is, if this policy that they are making, it is not from your own what's it called, from your own mind, why can't you just resign honorably?
If it's being pushed.
Yes,
But part, someone else will come in. Should
and
we
let
resign?
somebody else comes in. Your good name is actually good.
be
You've done something good, and people were actually looking like, oh, this man has come with something different from where how we always find ourselves when we comes to passports. Now this one is coming, lifetime benefit for what? These are the people that we appointed.
Now, before you go further, let's take this comment, and you will see how Nigerians feel in the comment section. Someone said, I think it's Ify Boy says, I ask again, Mr. Tinubu, which is better, champagne for a few or clean water for all? That is one person there.
That is very profound.
Calvin Lloyd says, people will never fit pay civil servants, will they active service.
service.
Well, Omo, you know, I mean, I won't say that, but then...
As we see complaint of 2009
agreement.
They are saying
You're not
federal
looking at
government is
that.
saying it
You're
was not
actually
signed.
distracting us from what is not. This is a misplaced priority.
Honestly. And
Misplaced
I don't know.
Okay, there's another comment here says, are teachers, doctors,
Doctors,
nurses
nurses
included? Of course not.
Not.
Even their pension, they are still struggling with it. Let's not even talk about lifetime salaries.
Now, the last comment I'm going to take here, that's coming for Ujumelu, says, the rich keeps getting rich. I mean, I mentioned that earlier. So
honestly.
this is the state of the country as we speak. And I do hope that, you know, sometimes when, I don't think presidents and governors, I don't think they watch TV or listen to radio anymore, because if they do.
They do.
Or maybe just
Because if they
go
do-
They
to
do.
Twitter,
Their
Twitter
conscience
comments.
is
They
just
would know.
their conscience.
Honestly.
In fact, they've sold their conscience out. They do.
I know. I just feel for this man, Olubebi Jojo, because I mean, he's received a lot of appraisals from the people. Now all of this is happening. I don't think it's good.
I think you should just borrow a leave. You should just borrow a leave from this man, the Minister of Power. Then that's Batanaje. The man resigned honorably. So
And that is why we are going to leave this show today honorably. Because we have to go. Our time is fast spent on the show. We say thank you for everyone that has been a part of this show so far. Do well to link up with us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch us live. Drop your comments. We will definitely, on this show, we'll take them. And you can also watch us live on our website, www.dominion.org.ng. It is on this note that we'll draw the curtains on today's edition of Daybreak Live Extra. I mean, the last for the week, Friday edition. We say thank you for joining us. Samson Balogun is my name. Until next week, that we shall be meeting again. I say, keep being good out there. Keep being safe. And of course, keep being nice. Enjoy minimally because it's weekend. Bye for now.
All right, thank you for being a part of the show today. Do well to join us on Monday, and of course, we promise you more interesting topics. And my name is Oluwayemi Mary Adelauk. I'm saying good morning.
all right, we're inviting you to come and join us behind the scene. Samson Balogun has he's taking us to. Of course, enjoy your Friday.